So when my grandmother passed away back in 2009, I would always go back to an old apartment in the Bronx, and it would be weird because like it's her apartment, but it's not her apartment. And we'd have these conversations that let me know that, yeah, like, yo, yeah, I'm dead. But yo, I'm fine and you're doing great. Don't worry about nothing. You know, and I would take that with me and I'd be like, and it made her death a little bit easier. And then after a while, when Joe Frazier, the boxer, was my cousin. I went to his
You got
funeral.
that left hook too?
So like I eventually got into boxing too, and that's crazy because that also leads into a pivot that like I'm about to make right now. But so when I went to his funeral, I ran into my grandmother's niece, who was like, "Hey, you know, like I got Gloria's old apartment." And I'm like, "Really? Can I go see it?"
What?
And when I went to go see it, it was the place that I kept astral projecting to. That's why it felt familiar, but was different.
Yeah.
Because it was different.
Yeah.
It's modeled different after the place. So I was like, and at that moment, that was like the biggest aha moment. Like, I completely understand this now. I know what it is. I'm half a wizard.
So wait, okay, I don't mean to cut you off, but I have questions.
Okay.
I have questions about that. So when we're visiting the apartment, it's the new apartment. It's newly designed. By the niece.
Well, they didn't change the infrastructure of the apartment.
No, but just it's different stuff in there.
Yeah, like the wallpaper's different.
But your grandmother was there.
The toaster's here, yeah.
So do you think your grandmother is in that area? That's where she's...
What I started reading up on is like a lot of times when you meet up with people, you'll meet at common place, a place that's familiar to both. Because I used to live with my grandmother in the Bronx for a little bit. And that was probably where we had most of our best memories there, because like from the time I was a kid till like the 1 year I lived with her when I was in the 7th grade, like that was our spot. And when she moved to Virginia, she modeled her house just like the apartment. Almost to a fault, because it's like, yo, man, you could have made that bathroom bigger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you working off a 1948 floor plan, grandma.
Just like this.
Like, nah, it was crazy because you could blindfold somebody and just walk through the house and like end up exactly where you're supposed to. Because it was like, give or take a room here or there, it was the exact same way. Like my room looked just like my room when we lived in the Bronx. So that part was wild. But when that was like the last thing I needed to like understand it more. I started just doing more and more research about it. Like, oh, Astral, I am not being abducted. There aren't witches riding my chest. Because like, you know, when people talk about sleep paralysis, they be like, oh, the witch was riding them.
Yeah, demons on your chest. Somebody trying to,
But if you ever have sleep paralysis and you just go with the flow. I used to have it
all the time.
But next time you have it, if you just like let the fear go, you're halfway there. And especially if you start hearing a ringing in your ear, that this high pitched ringing that you'll hear in your ear, that's when you know you're about to zip out.
Oh,
and once you start mastering it, and I've never like did anything crazy, because like you can go on YouTube and look at people's astral projection stories.
Yeah,
there are people that'll tell you, yo, I went to the moon, and there's like astral projection police that keep you from going to certain places. I don't know how much to believe into that. However, but if you even look up, they were not Project Stargate, but they literally had a military program where like they was training people to do a lot of this mind.
They
stuff.
Have the files online. You can go watch.
I did see the Project Stargate files, but that was more so about something that they was trying to figure out, like on Mars with some of the stuff that they declassified. Yeah. But all that stuff is like, I've always been fascinated by that stuff. I would be the kid that like, if you went to the school library and you looked at the card to see who checked out all the weird paranormal, Bigfoot, Sasquatch.
You on somebody's list right there.
Yo, be like, yo, he checked this book out and then he checked it out again. He let someone have it for a week and then he rechecked that, because like I've always been fascinated by that stuff.
That's dope, man. And how has that added value to your life?
It added a lot of value, because then I started to realize that like the book The Secret was real.
Oh yeah.
And like, oh, you literally can manifest the wildest things that you never thought of you could manifest. And I would just manifest things just to prove I can do it.
Well, you're an example of that. Like the rooms that I see you in, the places that I see you, it's like he's there and he's supposed to be there.
Yo,
like
it's really surreal. Like sometimes, like I'll leave something and I'll cry in the car because I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I really can't.
And you fit there. Like it's like you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like I was trying to like put it together and think about what this is, and I've never had a real example of that. I've always tried to put it together, but of somebody that just is comfortable everywhere they are, and they're themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did my research. I'm looking up videos, interviews, where you're at, music, TV. It's like this guy is himself everywhere, and everybody is appreciating him in his spaces.
Yo, and it's not lost on me. Like, I mean, and it's crazy because like sometimes I don't necessarily like realize it until like someone like you tells me what you just told me, you know, because like I always feel like I'm not loud enough. I'm not in everybody's faces. I'm not manipulating relationships for opportunities because like sometimes I just move how I move and just let the game come to me. And sometimes that makes you take a scenic route in the overall arch of, like, sometimes I'll be forgetting who be in my phone. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I totally should have hit blah, blah, blah and asked them for such and such. But for whatever reason, sometimes I don't. And that's like another thing that I learned at one of these ayahuasca retreats. That was like the last chapter of thing. So like, just to jump ahead, like, so being able to astral project, and then when my mom died, when I need to do it the most, I can't anymore. And I don't know if it was out of fear of like seeing her again, and like, is this the last time I'm gonna see you? Like, what are you gonna say? Da 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 da. But I felt like my antenna was broken. So in addition to that, in addition to like getting ready to take on this new job where I'm gonna have to entertain the energy of people, because I watched how Ricky had to entertain the energy of people and how he dealt with it in various degrees of good. I wanted to be better armed for it.
Okay.
And the crazy thing is, right before I was about to go, the pandemic came and I had to cancel that first retreat. So the very first time I ended up going, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and it unlocked a lot. It didn't fix my ability to astral project, but it did put me at peace with what it actually felt like when my grandmother died, what it felt like when my mother died, and when it felt like when Biggie died. Because I really like hip hop and I kind of wanted to know.
Yeah.
And like everybody who's ever died, what you experience when you cross over from this physical experience to the next thing, there's no amount of money you can get that can match that feeling. Like, you could bust the most immaculate nut in the world.
Right.
It will not feel like what that feels, that crossing over. Like, that's why like a lot of times people have a euphoric face, a look on their face before they die, even if they died crazy.
Right.
Unless you coughing blood.
Right.
Them people look like they're really going through it.
Yeah. But spiritually, do you think it's basically being born into your next life? Like where you're going into
like,
the next?
I think when you look at the larger scope of things, like it's the pregame. This physical experience we're going through, like this ain't as long as the post game.
Right.
Like, you know, once you out of here, like, I mean, like, yo, like, you know, if we lucky, the average person lives to be like what, 70, 85, if God really like you.
Right.
Once you get to 100, I don't know if it's like a gift or like, cause some people look like, yo, man, I don't need to be here no more. It's too expensive to be alive. They keep raising the price of everything.
I was good at 85, homie. You could have took me.
I can't afford tea. It hurts to breathe, and I can only blink 7 times a day without having to like wet my eyes. You know,
like nothing's good right now, man. Get me out of here. Get me to this place.
I never understood that because like I definitely like was one of the people when I was a kid. I want to be like specifically, I want to live to be 136. I don't know why 136, but I wanted to live to be 136.
Yeah.
And then I realized that like that's not financially sustainable.
Yeah, no. And so how we got to the ayahuasca was the decision making, like transitioning from job to job. And like I was kind of saying, like sometimes when we are individual, single or whatever, it's a little bit easier to make decisions. But when you have the responsibility of others, your children, how did that factor into the transitions, like the no's and the yeses?
So what the ayahuasca like did was like, hey man, you serving some shit that don't no longer serve you. You're coming here looking for answers, and the answer is bounce. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come back in a few months for another ceremony and see if the answer is the same. Bounce.
Get up out of there.
I'm gonna come back a third time because like my ankle hurt that time. No, literally, it did. And like maybe I wasn't 100% tapped in. And it's like
my ankle was hurt that time.
It really was. Like I was having like some weird like tendon flare up. And it was like, you're like, and the third time it was like, still no. And you should bounce. And also I'm gonna make it to where because you do 3 ceremonies every retreat. So I've done 11 actual ceremonies. So I went to 4 different retreats. And it was the last one that was like, no, really, Nick, the bounce, and also you need to ask for help more. Cause like there was a situation where like I drank the tea and nothing was happening. And sometimes nothing happens.
Okay.
Cause like everything happens differently for people. based on what the medicine decides you need or based on what you really truly need. And so when I drank it, it's like, oh, this must be one of those ones. Well, nothing will happen for me. This guy walks up and hits a tuning fork by me. And all of a sudden, I can see every color that doesn't have a name. Not the 248 color box of crayons where you get like cyan and oranges, goldfish. Like whoa, oh, I'm seeing all these colors because I'm about to die. Oh man, it's real. Well, you know what? Let me close my eyes. I close my eyes. I'm still seeing all these colors, and then like my brain is processing everything that I see as binary code. Like your shirt would have killed me if I'd have saw your shirt because everything would have scrambled, like not scrambled your shirt, but I would have read everything on your shirt as like some weird ass binary code. Yeah. Because like what happens is we operate on whatever this frequency that we're on right now, this verbal conversational frequency. I'm talking to you, you talking to me. Dolphins communicate mentally. So just imagine all the other layers we don't know about.
Right.
And when you take, same way when people smoke weed, it opens things up for them. And for some people, it closes things and dulls them. What ayahuasca does is it like, you know, like when you hitting that seek button on a radio station, yo, you getting all the channels.
Find it.
All the channels.
Stop in here, you catching something. Stop in here, you catching something.
Man, so with that, man, like that's how my brain was processing every image I was seeing. And like, yo, like, and like my higher self was like, hey, listen, you're gonna suffer until you ask somebody to help you. Cause I know you hate asking for help.
Right.
Oh, like close your eyes if you want to, but you're gonna see more when you close your eyes. You ain't gonna sleep through this. You're gonna fucking suffer until you ask somebody for help. Right. And it got to the point I was like, yo, like somebody help me, please. I don't want to die. I just want to go home and see my family. Hug me. Tell me I'm not gonna die. And for me,
that was a lot.
Yeah, that was like the equivalent of me shitting on live television.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's not something I want to do in front of people, and I don't want to ask for anybody for help out loud. And then like and that's ego.
Yeah,
it's ego.
I was just gonna ask you, what do you think it was? What do you think the hesitating to ask for help